In the coming sections, we'll consider how human freedom and goodness can be cultivated through practices that occur within the context of a community. Such practices, if they're helpful to us, can help foster our development as human beings, enhancing our freedom and capacity for being and doing good. Even though each of us has a capacity for free will, in both the first-order sense of being able to choose and weigh among considered options, and in the second-order sense of being able to work towards becoming a new kind of chooser, we typically don't make decisions about how to act or how to better ourselves in a vacuum. We make those decisions within a culture and within a community. We commonly adopt the norms of our community and try to earn respect and affection from those in our community. Our communities and families are therefore some of the most important scaffolding in our lives, fostering certain kinds of decisions made by us over others that are less favored or potentially even harmful to us. This was put in an amusing way by my 12-year-old daughter. When asked by a physicist colleague of mine whether she thought her father had free will, she answered, "It depends on whether my mom is around." In this segment, I would like to focus on what has happened to past moral systems in light of the claims and findings of science. So let's take a step back and evaluate where we are as a civilization in terms of religions and other social systems of belief and practice that influence our free and perhaps not so free decisions. The roots of the West's ongoing crisis in values run deep. One immediate cause has been the worldview of science. From the fall of Rome until the Renaissance, the Church was the dominant moral force, its authority stemming from the conviction that the Church enforced the objective dictates of God. Science undermined the Church's authority by confronting people with the proposition that the universe operates solely in accordance with discoverable physical laws. Whereas some scientists, like Isaac Newton, took the beauty of the physical laws as evidence of a divine creator, many others took science's materialism to imply that there is no objective morality upon which to base behavior. After Darwin took away our divine likeness by exposing us as primates, evolved from inanimate matter, it seemed to some people that Christianity and its God were, as Nietzsche put it, dead. After Freud, even the animated demons and angels of religion vacated the physical world. They, like morality, took up residence in our conflicted minds. Over the past 500 years or more, science has convinced many, though certainly not all people, that certain religious claims are myth-based rather than literally true. By rendering religion's metaphysics unbelievable for many people, science inadvertently weakened religion's role as moral guide and scaffolding that answers how best to live and be. Science indirectly created a vacuum of meaning and social support in many people's lives. In one sense, the baby of moral guidance was thrown out with the bathwater of disbelief. Since science does not concern itself with ethics, science was not able to fill this vacuum with any new system of meaning to replace the old religious systems. This is not really the fault of science. Science concerns itself with what is, not with what ought to be. We cannot expect an ontological enterprise like science to give us a moral framework to guide our decisions or character development. That said, science, inadvertently perhaps, has led to increasing secularization, at least for large segments of modern populations, and decreasing adherence to religions that in earlier times served as the main framework governing individual decisions and character development. The mind and brain sciences have also played a certain role in the decline of traditional belief-based religions. Cognitive psychology and neuroscience are rooted in a worldview, which I share, that assumes mental events to be wholly due to the physical states of the nervous system. Damage to a part of the nervous system that processes or conveys a specific kind of information undermines the body's ability to process that kind of information. Locations and components of information processing in the brain are becoming increasingly clear. Scanning techniques allow us to visualize the locations of brain events that correspond to mental events while they're happening. Psychopharmaceuticals allow us to modify the character of information processing in the brain at the synaptic level. The worldview implicit in the neurosciences that our mental life is entirely the product of bodily events is in the tradition of science's materialism. In some sense, mental events are identical to physical brain events. But why posit a soul if all mental events can be attributed to the living brain? There can be no afterlife if all subjective events perish with the death of brain tissue. Brain-mind identity is perhaps the most fundamental challenge to religion since the idea of evolution by natural selection. Is death simply brain death? Assuming there is no immortal soul, how are we to develop spiritually? For some people, but again not all, science casts into doubt the existence not only of souls, but also casts into doubt the existence of a caring and personal God. Since the advent of science, threats of divine punishment in an objectively existing eternal hell lost their hold on at least the growing secular segments of our population. Fossils, the telescope, birth controls, space travel, to name a few, all suggested to many people that we alone are in control of our lives in a vast, indifferent, and often violent universe. If the universe didn't care about the demise of most of the dinosaurs, why should nature care about the demise of our species? Nature or God certainly didn't intervene during the Holocaust. Why should nature care about your demise or my happiness? Many people conclude with the reason it doesn't. While there can never be outright proof that invisible gods or souls do not exist, science does not incorporate these concepts into its models of reality because they are not necessary for making falsifiable predictions about that which is observable. Given the vacuum of meaning that science has precipitated in modern civilization, how are we to guide our actions as the old belief-based religions increasingly succumb to secularization?